Hello and welcome to the Party Center Speaks podcast. This is the podcast for family entertainment center and event venue owners, operators, managers, and staffers looking to grow their businesses. Want to learn more about increasing booking parties, improving facility operations, and more? Then this podcast is for you. My name is Nydia Milton, and I am the Client Relationship and Marketing Coordinator here at Party Center Software. In this episode of Party Center Speaks, we'll explore the world of franchising. How exciting! And we'll cover how one indoor playground owner is expanding her brand in a big way. I'd like to introduce my guest on today's podcast, Emma McNeil. Emma is the founder and CEO of PlayPalz Indoor Playground. This is an indoor playground in Chattanooga, Tennessee that is designed for children 0 to 6 and their caregivers. So Emma has always been dedicated to working with children, and with a unique blend of purposeful play and engaging programming, the PlayPalz brand has been able to bring vibrant and engaging indoor playgrounds that inspire joy and creativity in children. Emma, welcome to our podcast.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm very excited.
Awesome. In this episode of Party Center Speaks, we'll chat about the day-by-day operations of running an indoor play cafe, play center, playground, and how software tools like ours can help make run things smoothly. Emma, welcome to our podcast.
Hello, it's nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Lovely. So let's talk day to day. If there is one, what does a typical day at PlayPalz look like from your employee standpoint?
Definitely not a typical day. With children and most importantly, parents, everything is completely different every single day, and you never know what you're going to get. But typically, from an employee standpoint, we have our employees get here early, make sure everything is, up and ready to go. Safety inspections through the playground, make sure nothing's broken, make sure nothing that was missed the night before. We double check all the cleaning, and sometimes we will have the person that closed, if it's getting late and it took a little bit longer, they'll leave some stuff for the opening person to do. And then we open, and then we start checking people in. Typically, I would say like 9 times out of 10, our first customers that walk in the door are our members, because they like to get here before the crowd gets going.
They have lay of the land.
Yeah, they try to get in here before it gets crazy. But and then throughout the day, we're constantly cleaning. We're constantly making sure things aren't broken. We're constantly, how do you say it gently, yelling at children. I can't tell you how many times we say, please don't climb the slide, even though we have like graphics that show not to climb the slide, and it in English and in Spanish, not to climb the slides. We pick up a lot of balls, and we go through a lot of like cleaning racks, a lot of vacuuming, a lot of sweeping. And then typically, once the day's over, we start it all over. We do our closing checklist. The girls work through the weekly checklist during the day too. I forgot to say that. And then we do our closing checklist and start it all back over.
Oh, goodness. So speaking of your checklists, what systems, routines, anything, what do you rely on to keep things running smoothly in case anyone is new and maybe doesn't know what to put on their checklist?
Do you mean like what types of things do we keep on the checklist, or how do we, what do we use for our checklist?
Both.
Okay, so I think we have like 12 total different checklists. I think there's actually more than that now that I start saying it out loud. I am a checklist queen. For me, I think that your employees do better if they have something that they know that they can go do. So we have a, hey, are you bored checklist? And it's a weekly checklist of everything, and it's prioritized by color. And you have to complete based off your hours, like So there's like a red, a yellow, and a green. And if you work more than 8 hours, I think it's not exactly correct, but if you work 8 hours in a week, you have to get 1 red done, and I think 4 yellow and 6 green. And so we kind of have it where they know that when they come in, they have to get those, like that's their duties. They have to get stuff like that done. Now, granted, sometimes we're a little bit busier, especially in the winter. So we'll add some extra after hour cleaning sessions to make sure that everything is getting touched, just because we're a little bit busier and we don't have time for it. So the Hey, Are You Bored checklist does a great job keeping just like the general staff on top of it. We have safety checklists so that they can go through and mark off different sections of the playground that they've gone and, thoroughly inspected for that day. And then we also have like our bathroom checklist where it shows what time. And then we also have, for like our bathrooms, we call it if you go, you check. And so if the girls go to the bathroom, they will write down another like random time that they checked the bathrooms and like cleaned it up and, made sure it had toilet paper and stuff like that, versus just like the normal 1 hour times that they're supposed to do. So it gets touched a lot there. And I think the checklist and being able to make sure makes us stay on top of the cleanliness of the bathrooms. We have our checklist in Party Center software that is checklists for birthday parties. So if there's upcoming parties for the weekend, there's checklists that shows, have we texted them that they need to wear socks? Have we texted them the waivers? Have we tried upselling them on themes? Have we tried upselling them on party favors? All the different things we can upsell them on. We have the checklist in Party Center software there. They can go if they're also bored to just try to improve their party, make some more money, and things like that. So, we have a lot of different, we have our closing checklist, we have our opening checklist. Like I said, I think that the checklist system helps. And I am a big advocate for paper checklists. A lot of people aren't. In my opinion, when you have a digital checklist, it's very easy for you to just like click check, like we did it. The paper ones, I think, hold us a little bit more accountable because we have to write our name on them, or our initials. We do initials. And I think that it helps hold you a little bit more accountable and makes you think, oh, yes, I did do this, versus just being like click, 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 click. So we do paper checklists for most everything except for the party, like on the party invoices. We do all paper.
Oh, wow. That is very thorough. And I think that's easy for anyone to kind of implement. And that's a good just routine and systems to have in place. So, oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, I meant to add, we have a binder, and it's like got the 31 tabs in it for 31 days. And so like if today's the 16th, you would open it to the 16th and it has everything in there. Again, you're going through paper, we recycle it all after the end of the month, but you go to the 16th and everything's in there for like all the checklists. Like if it was Friday, there would be different checklists in there to make sure that you're ready for weekend parties. On Saturdays, you have different checklists to make sure that you're ready for the parties that day. And so we keep it all organized in there. And it also helped the girls pay attention to it more, because again, like I said, with the tablets and things like that, we've noticed that things were getting skipped over and kind of brushed over very easily.
Oh, wow. And do your managers update the checklist? Like you said, day by day?
So either myself or the manager will go through at the end of the month and sit there and add, like, which it takes us about 30 minutes. It's really not that bad. But we'll have all the documents already printed out, and then we add them to the corresponding days of what, like, we'll look at like the 16th is a Wednesday, or, the 18th is a Friday. So we need to make sure we have the Friday checklist on there and things like that. So, yes and no. It doesn't take very long, though. Like I said, it takes about maybe 30 minutes max. I think the thing that takes the longest is hole punching.
That makes sense. And so, switching gears here, how did you structure or lay out your space and kind of even programming just everything that you have going on at PlayPalz to keep up with your motto and create safe, enriching, stress-free environment for both the kids and the parents?
So for me, I don't I don't know about you, but like if I go into a facility, I want to be able to see everything at one time. And I think that a lot of places that you go, like I think jump parks are very overstimulating for a mom. Because if you have two kids, you can't just they're like everywhere. You can't see them and you can't be able to just like walk up and down and be able to find them easily. So our front entrance is 72 feet long. It's about 12 no, it's 14 feet wide, excuse me. So it's 72 feet long and 14 feet wide. We made it that way so that we could make room for a line, make room for if a kiddo tries to bolt out the door, we got to stretch to chase after them versus them just seeing the door and being like, hey, bye. So we've got a stretch to, catch up with them or, whatnot.
Yeah.
We have a locked entrance going into the facility, and then everything on your left side as you go in is all like of our merchandise and where the parents sit, and everything on the right is all of our playground structures. And this is for our Chattanooga location. It's a little bit different on our Cleveland location, and our future locations that we're in development for right now. But no matter what, all of our locations will have the seating on one side and the parents on the other, because I, as a parent, want to be able to walk up and down the playground and see straight through it and be able to see if I can find my kid, versus having to go in 500 different places. We have one entrance, one exit, same door. And then we do have like a fire door in the back, but it's got a crowbar on it. So an adult would have to take the crowbar off for a child to get out. But otherwise than that, I mean, our whole goal is to make it as easy as possible for a mom to just be able to sit back and relax. And there's, sometimes you can't sit back and relax when it's really busy, but it's, that was the goal, was to try to be able to see all the way through the playground. So someone could easily let their child be a child and run and be free and play, but also our moms can be like, okay, I can just kind of relax. Like, I don't have to be on top of them. I don't have to helicopter them, because I feel like for myself, I have to helicopter the whole entire time I'm at a trampoline park or anywhere like that. And I mean, we love trampoline parks, but it is not relaxing.
Right. Right. That makes sense. You just think of the mom, think of your audience, think of your guests, whoever's coming to your facility. And with that, so I know that you offer events, classes, party bookings, obviously. And what have you found to be the most effective way to balance your schedule when you're programming these things, planning these things, and especially because you offer open play?
So this is kind of a little off, but you kind of have to go off to understand the way we did the schedule. When we first opened, my kids had a very rigorous 7 p.m. bedtime. So we set up our schedule originally to where we closed at 6 p.m. A lot of people didn't like that because of like work schedules and things like that. But I mean, we say like 12 and under, we're heavily focused on 6 to 8 and under. I would say 8's probably more where we're at, but we focus on the younger kids that don't stay up late. And so that's why we did it that way originally. And then it ended up working out well. The way we built our schedule, like I said, we close at 6, but it allows for us to have events afterwards when we want to accommodate them, where we don't have to close early to the public, because there's nothing worse than driving somewhere and then finding out that they're closing early. So for us, we don't ever close, like our open play never changes. The only time it changes is for our Christmas event that we do in December, and you're still welcome to come. It's just a more expensive fee to get in. We always accommodate for extra people coming, but I don't love, and I mean, every business has their own opinions, and I'm not trying to talk ill will about any other business, but I don't love the like set play times as a mom where you can only go from 12 to 2 or from, 4 to 6 or whatever, because it's very difficult as a mom and nap schedules and things like that to make those times work. And I mean, no mom is on time anywhere they go, unless they plan on telling themselves that they're supposed to be there 30 minutes early, which is what
Right.
I have to do, and I'm still usually late. But we set our schedule up like that, and it helps accommodate parents, but it also helps accommodate us in the aspect of where we can do like the types of events and things like that, and we don't have to close to our customers. So we only do private events or private parties Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 9:30. And then on Saturdays, we don't do any extra private events because we actually extended our hours to being open later on Saturdays. And then on Sundays, we're open from 1 to 5. So this accommodates any, like our private parties on Sunday. I mean, we book out our private parties on Sundays months in advance because people love utilizing the 10 a.m. time slot to start their private party. And then we also do private parties from 5:30 to 8:30 on Sunday. So those two time slots typically book up the fastest for our private parties. And then our events are typically on the weekdays from about 6:30 to 7:30 or 8. But it also helps me and my employees keep a good work-life balance where we're not open all the time.
That makes sense. Perfect. And so, how would you say your staffing helps? You mentioned earlier they were really good with the checklist and you change some things around so that it could work smoother, or even training practices. How have you been kind of using those to help you build a reliable and guest-focused team?
So, over the past 3 years, I have learned a lot, and we've changed a lot of approaches on how we handle things. Um, for me, important questions that we ask during interviews, I mean, like, it sounds crazy. Are you comfortable with dealing with pee or poop? Like, that's an important thing that's in a playground industry that unfortunately you have to be okay with dealing with, or some people aren't going to make it. Not the fun part of the life, but we've approached like some situations a little bit differently than we used to. So, I mean, our thing is we tell people when we're hiring them, I mean, you can't have a high gag reflex, which again sounds disgusting, but that's stuff that we struggled with at the beginning as we were making some good hires. But they were struggling to get the more like complicated things done. And the other thing that I try to prepare our employees for, and they're really great at, is we do a lot of situational practice on parents and how that they're going to react to you telling their child to obey the rules or you telling them to obey the rules and things like that. And I think by improving these things and warning people up front and practicing on, I think the more difficult things, it helps you make a really solid team. And we try not to, we don't like just throw people into it where they're scared off. But I think the more realistic we are with our staff, the better staff we've had and the more successful they've been. And typically they're a little bit happier because they know what they're about to deal with versus, something days are great. Owning an indoor playground's a lot of fun. But there's also days that are not great. I mean, and you just have to prepare people for that. Like, it's not all going to be sunshines and rainbows. Like, it's going to be tough. And so I think that's how we've prepared a really solid staff is we just make sure that they're prepared for any type of situation. And when things happen really, really good, they just think it's absolutely magical. For example, we have a really sweet high school boy that works for us right now. And I've given him parties that I know are going to be difficult just to test him. And we've given him all sorts of scenarios. And this weekend was like his 4th weekend working here. And he walked in, he was like, I think that I'm the most prepared I've been. Like, I think I've got this. Like, y'all have done like such a good job. And he ended up getting a $125 tip.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I mean, typically our tips are somewhere around like 15, 20, $30. And he got a $125 tip. So for me, like preparing people for all the different circumstances and letting them experience it versus like sheltering them from it, it makes them a wonderful staff member. And I mean, he got so many shout outs this weekend, like so many shout outs this weekend from different customers that were there.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Emma, for sharing a behind the scenes look at how PlayPalz operates. I think you've provided plenty of insights for other indoor playgrounds, play centers, and play cafes. I think that you provided plenty of insights for others like you, and thank you so much for giving us a behind the scene look into your facility.
Thanks. I hope y'all have a great day.
All right. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in to this episode of Party Center Speaks. I hope that what we shared was useful today for your family entertainment center, event venue, anywhere, everywhere. If you have any feedback, please, or any topics, please feel free to give us an email at marketing@partycentersoftware.com. This is a weekly podcast, so you can expect new episodes on Thursday. Party Center Speaks is powered by Party Center Software. We are a facility management tool that helps family entertainment centers and event venues book more parties and manage their facilities. We also offer marketing services such as website design, digital advertising, and SEO services, marketing automation, social media assistance, and so much more to help you expand your reach and grow traffic. If you'd like to know more about us or our vendor program, head over to partycentersoftware.com and be sure to give us a follow on all social media. Until next time, thanks for listening. All right, and I'll stop the recording there. Well, thank you, Emma, for joining me, and sorry about the whole Zoom stuff, but
Oh, no. I hope that I answered all that well, because like now I go back and I start thinking like I could have answered this way.
oh, it was perfect. You gave plenty of insight. This is perfect.
Okay, good. I was like, I think I could have answered that differently.
All
Okay, well, if y'all ever need me for anything else, I'm not usually this difficult to get a hold of.
all good, all good. I'm glad you were here today.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
Bye.